All right. Hello, guys. I don't know if you guys watched video number one for your bell ringer, but if you did not, just a little explanation. I've been home really, really sick this week, and so I wanted to record a couple of things for you guys and sort of help break down some things and maybe help with some questions you might end up having. So, I apologize if I cough or if I sneeze my head off in this video or if my cat decides to just jump up here and act like a hooligan because he likes to do that. But we are going to get started with part two of our day, and that is going to be our that is going to be oops, sorry. I don't know what I just did. Okay. That is going to be our found poems practice. I have already done the video for the bell ringer. So if you have not done the bell ringer, or if you have questions about the bell ringer, I have it posted there. And I'm going to go over found poems with you guys. I thought it'd be interesting to tie in what Miss Duke was doing with what we're doing here in social studies. Um, so we're going to go over what a found poem is and do a little bit of practice, and then we're going to talk about the Zimbabwe reading. So go ahead and click on number 2 for me. You guys will see, here's the video that you're watching now. And then you guys have the slides. They are right here. So I want you guys to go ahead and open up the slides and make me dual screen. Now, if you don't know how to do a dual screen, I'm going to show you just in case. So one of the easiest ways to do a dual screen is to simply click and hold the tab that you want on one side, drag it all the way over until you see a little highlighted shaded box. So you should see a white shaded box on the right side of your screen, and you're just going to click it like that. And then the other part that you want, you're going to click and hold it like you did. The other half may disappear, which is fine. And then you're just going to drag and drop it to the opposite side until you see another white shaded box. And so it should look like this when you're finished. I don't care which side you have the video on or which side you have the practice on, but you need to have it, okay? I'm going to be completely full screen for this. That way I can get what I need done. But we are going to go over found poems and what they are. So, found poems in nonfiction text. We, of course, are going to be working with nonfiction text and history a lot, and that's just texts that just give a lot of true information. So, what is a found poem? So, found poems take existing texts, so things that are already written, and refashion them, reorder them, shade them in, and present them as poems. Now, these poems do not have to make sense at all, but as long as you have a justification for it or an explanation for it, it's fine. That's how it goes. Poetry is different, it's weird, and it's fun, as long as you can get fun out of it, okay? So, here are some examples of a found poem. Found poems are also called blackout poems, and I'll show you why here in a second. So here's an example. The poem itself is inside right here. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse. I want to see if I can be cool. But right here in this little black area that's shaded. Oops. Listen, you know how I am with technology. Okay. But the poem that this person did off this whole page, it says, he had their unusual childlike intelligence. Doesn't sound like a poem, does it? But it is. It's considered poetry because you're taking an already written piece and making it something that you found and you can relate to. Here's another example. This one's a little bit more creative, and I like this one. It says, in the blue, it says, snowflakes whirl, gray and white, colors of the cities, children blinking up at the sky, get away, and forgotten. Okay, so took an already written piece and then found something more deeper that they felt they could reflect with or they liked in it. So here is it. I like this. I like how creative it is. I love the colors and how it's just not black and white, but black and white is beautiful too. Don't get me wrong. All right, so these are two great examples of found poems. they don't make sense, they're not going to make sense, and that's fine. So, step by step on how to do this. Step one, you got to read it, okay? You're not going to know what's in it if you don't read it. Step two, you have two options. I sort of repeated myself on step two and step three. But step two, highlight the words that you think are important. And I have given you a number on each practice on how many I want you to do, so just pay attention to that. And then what I mean by two options, you have two options. You can color the background except for your highlighted words. So just your words are showing and everything else is blacked out. That's the blackout poem. Or you could circle the words where they are really pronounced. So like that snowflake poem, you could really see the words. Or the other one where it had like that black tracing outline and like the sketches around it. Here's another example. It's a little fishy poem. I can't read it. It's too small, but if you want, you could probably read it in yours and zoom in. This is an example of a blackout poem. So you really can't see the other words on the page. You can only see what they boxed out. And I love that they drew a fish in a goldfish in a bowl to sort of like really highlight what this poem was about. You don't have to do that, but I will be giving extra credit points on the actual Zimbabwe reading whenever you do this, okay? And then here's just another one. This is considered the found poem, where they just took a color and really boxed in what they felt and really pronounced it. There was no rhyme or reason, but they felt these words were connected and they had some meaning to them. And I really like that. So both of these are perfectly acceptable. So now let's practice. So what I have done, I have given you guys two excerpts, which are small parts of books that have readings, okay? I'm going to show you an example. Please try not to copy mine. I know some of the words, might be speaking to you as well, but try not to copy. I'm going to ask that you just highlight 5 words. So we're going to do the first example of where we just highlight, which is going to be our found poem, okay? So I'm going to have to get out of full screen for this, so don't judge my screen. There we go. And I'm going to zoom in. I'm just going to click this right here, maybe 100%. Okay, I'm going to read this out loud. Follow along. It says, Mr. and Mrs. Dursley of number 4 Privet Drive were proud to say they were perfectly normal. Thank you very much. They were the last people you'd expect to be involved in anything strange or mysterious, because they just did not hold with such nonsense. Mr. Dursley was the director of a firm called Grunnings, which made drills. He was big, beefy man with hardly any neck, although he did have a very large mustache. Mrs. Dursley was thin and blonde and had nearly twice the usual amount of neck, which came in very usual, as she spent so much of her time craning over garden fences, spying on the neighbors. The Dursleys had a small son called Dudley, and in their opinion there was no finer boy anywhere. The Dursleys had everything they wanted, but they also had a secret, and their greatest fear was that somebody would discover it. All right, so I want you guys now, we are going to click on our highlighter. So you might have to click in the box. And then this little tool right here, I'm going to make sure you can focus on my mouse. So you see it, this little tool right here that looks like a paintbrush. You're going to click on it, and then you can click any color you want. For some reason, I'm really into Spider-Man this week, probably because we've watched Spider-Man Far From Home like 75 times. So I'm going to go with like a light red. And now, in order to highlight, you are just going to drag across the word, and you are just going to highlight words that speak to you. So, I'm going to highlight like perfectly normal. I like it. Okay. It means something to me. I'm going to go up here to my highlighter color, and I'm going to click on a light red. And then perfectly normal. Expect to. All right. It doesn't really make sense, but I like that. I just like the word expect because, I say that a lot in school. expect to, I'm going to take off 2 just because, and that happens. That's totally fine. So I'm going to take off 2, make that transparent. All right, so if you make a whoopsie daisy, just take it off. All you have to do is just make it transparent. Perfectly normal, expect nonsense. I like that. And then I'm going to highlight it red. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need a total of 5 words. So I need to find one more, or like one more phrase. So perfectly normal, expect nonsense. And then I'm just going to highlight discover it. And there you go. That's my poem. Is it perfect? No. But does it sort of have some meaning to it? You could say that. I think so. So that would be my poem. So pause me right now. I want you guys to go and pick a color that is not black or white. And I'll explain that in a little bit. Pause me. And then whenever you are done with your 5 highlights, now you can do over 5, but you don't want to highlight the whole paragraph. Unpause me and we'll move on to the next practice. All right. So you should have highlighted your things. I can't wait to read them. You will be turning this in for a grade. But we are going to go to the next part and we are going to do a blackout poem because I want you to practice with both. And then we are going to go to our Zimbabwe reading in the next video and we are going to read it and then you guys are going to practice. So slide number 5 is where you're going to go. And you guys will see I have another excerpt here and I can't spell. It says selection. That needs to be the selection because, yellow. All right. So it says, let's practice. Highlight the words you think mean something. Black out all the words you don't want to use. So you are getting rid of the words, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So, like I said, I cannot spell today. We're just going to call it sickness brain because I can't do it. All right. So step 1, we are going to read the passage, and I will read it with you guys. Step 2 is click the highlighter tool, and you're going to, you have 2 options here. Some of you guys don't need to do it. Some of you guys might want to do it. I'm going to go through first and highlight the words I want to keep, so that way I don't forget which words I want to keep, okay? So I'm going to change the color to a different color than red because I want to be fancy. I might do a blue since I'm obsessed with Spider-Man this week. And then step 3, you're going to change the highlighter. Man, it's rough. Highlighter to black. And then highlight the words you don't want me to read. Black. So completely get rid of them. And I'm going to show you an example. Thank you guys for sticking in this video too because we don't want to get lost. All right. So this starts out as, when we got the letter in the post, my mother was ecstatic. She had already decided that all of our problems were solved, gone forever. The big hitch in her brilliant plan was me. I didn't think I was particularly disobedient daughter, but this is where I drew the line. I didn't want to be royalty, and I didn't want to be a 1. I didn't even want to try. I hid in my room. The only place to avoid was the chattering of our full house, trying to come up with an arrangement that would sway her. So far, I had a solid collection of honest opinions. I didn't think there was a single one she would listen to. I couldn't avoid her much longer. It was approaching dinner time, and as the oldest child left in the house, cooking duties fell on me. I pulled myself out of the bed and walked into the snake pit. I got a glare from Mom, but no words. Okay, so I am going to do my example first, and then I'm going to let you guys pause me and do yours, okay? All right, so I am going to go back up here, and I am going to click in my box, okay? So that way I can do that. So you have to click in the box in order to get the top part. And I'm going to go on my focus tool again, and I'm going to click. I'm doing it the long way. You don't have to. I'm going to click on a blue, and I'm going to highlight the words that I want to keep. For this one, let's do a little bit more. Let's do 7. Let's challenge ourselves. So I'm going to type up here, highlight 7 words, so that way you guys know. All right. So I'm going to down here. I'm going to highlight this phrase, gone forever. I really like it. I don't know, it speaks to me. So I highlight blue. So gone forever. Disobedient. And I'm going to highlight it blue. Disobedient. Didn't. Ooh, where are you going? That was my dog. I'm so sorry. Didn't try. I highlighted blue. Okay, so gone forever. That's 2 words. Disobedient, 3. Didn't try. I only need 2 more words and my poem's done. Avoid. Apparently this poem's going to be really sad for me. I don't know. Avoid honest opinions, and I'm going to call it done. Okay, so am I done? Is this a true blackout poem? No. What am I missing? If you said blacking out the rest of the poem, you would be correct. You better have said that. So we are now going to get rid of all the words that I didn't use. So to do that, we are going to highlight, and by doing that, you just drag and hold. I hope you guys know that. I'm going to highlight, and then I'm going to change the highlighter to black. So now whenever I click off of it, the words are gone. And so I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of it. Remember, don't highlight over your words that you want to keep. Highlight color, black, gone. All right, highlight, black, gone. All right, so we are going to do that. You guys can fast forward me through this part. It won't take me that much longer. Oh, I'm messing it up. No, Charlie. Okay. We are going to highlight, get rid. Now, a couple of words can be together, and that's perfectly fine. Like I did a couple of words like honest opinions. That's a good phrase. I like that phrase. There's nothing I wanted to change. But you don't want to highlight like the whole paragraph. That's just copying what they did, you know? So we're not going to do that. Oh, I missed the F, so we need to fix that. So don't do that. I want you guys to really make it your own. And this is difficult because it takes a lot of brain thought. But you guys can do it. You guys have done more difficult things than this. But there you go. So now I'm going to zoom out so you can see my full poem. All right. And I'm going to read it. So it says, gone forever, disobedient, didn't try, avoid honest opinions. There you go. That's my poem. So pause me, highlight your words, black out your words that you're not using, and then whenever you are done with that, unpause me and I'll tell you how to turn it in. Okay, so you should have your poem done, and we are going to go back to slide number 4, and you guys are going to screenshot your poem. Okay, I only want that. You don't have to turn in the whole thing. There's no need to. I just want 2 screenshots. So if you forget how to screenshot, you're going to Control Shift, click the button above the 6. It's a square with 2 lines on the right. Should look like this on your screen. You're just going to drag it and screenshot that whole area. And then just click Enter. And then you're going to go to slide number 5, and you're going to do this same exact thing. Make sure you're zoomed out so I can see it, all right? So Control Shift, the square with the 2 lines above the 6. Do that. Mine looks perfect. All right, we're going to hit Enter. I screenshotted it. So now you guys will need to go back to Echo, and you guys will turn it in here. Okay, so you'll turn in your 2 pictures there, and then make sure you hit Submit My Work. All right, and then you're done with this. So Once you've got that done, you guys can move on to the Zimbabwe reading, and I will show you guys how to do that. So, you guys are rock stars. Keep it up. And then I'm sorry that this video took so long.